Hey everyone, welcome to The Change Curve, your go to podcast for boosting your financial literacy and mastering personal finance. I'm Christine, and today we're diving into a topic that hits home for many of us: money lessons we wish we'd learned in school. Here's a startling fact: financial literacy rates amongst young adults globally remains shockingly low. Think about that. We spend years learning algebra and the periodic table, but somehow miss this crucial skill that determines our financial future. Let me share something personal. When my first marriage ended, I looked at what I had to show for my first decade of adulting, and honestly, it wasn't much. I had some money from selling our property, but I was completely clueless about what to do with it. Jim Rohn famously said, "Formal education will make you a living, self education will make you a fortune." So I decided to invest in myself first. I found a financial mentor, and one of the first things she told me, which felt like a slap in the face, was, "Your current financial position is the result of all the decisions you've made up until this point." And she was absolutely right. That's when I realized my financial literacy needed serious work. As Earl Nightingale says, you become what you think about. And I needed to start thinking about my finances differently. That's why I created this podcast, to share what I've learned and what I'm still learning along with you. So let's dive in. Before we get started, remember that nothing in this podcast should be considered financial advice. I don't know your specific circumstances, and I'm not your financial advisor. Please seek advice from a qualified professional for your personal financial situation. The first money lesson I wish I'd learned early is how to build a solid financial foundation. Let's talk about budgeting. I prefer the term strategic spending over budgeting because it feels more empowering. To be honest, I really don't like budgeting. The term sounds restrictive, but strategic spending is about understanding your money and making it work for you. Here's a simple 3-step process to get started. First, track your income. How much money is actually coming in each month? Include your salary, side hustles, investments, everything. Second, list your expenses. Where is your money going? Use a money tracking app or even a simple spreadsheet for this. I've included the Financial Fitness Tracker in the show notes to help with this. Third, categorize your spending into needs versus wants. This isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. As I often say, awareness is the key to change. There are lots of different ways that you can do a budget. There's the zero-based budgeting method, the envelope method, pay yourself first, and the 50-30-20 rule. My personal preference is a combination of pay yourself first and the 50-30-20 rule. And here's how the 50-30-20 rule works. 50% of your income goes to necessities: housing, food, utilities, transport. 30% goes towards wants: dining out, entertainment, and hobbies. And 20% goes towards savings and debt repayment. This isn't a rigid rule, but rather a starting point to help you balance your spending. Depending on where you live, you might need to adjust these percentages. For tracking your income and expenses, I use a combination of the Money Manager app and my Financial Fitness Tracker, and it's been a game changer. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Another crucial foundational principle is pay yourself first. Treat savings like any other bill by setting up an automatic transfer to your savings account on payday. Even if it's just $20 to start, it adds up over time. This habit alone can transform your financial future. Your mindset about money matters just as much as the practical steps it takes. There are a couple of ways to prevent overspending on things we want. Firstly, you could withdraw the cash and go cardless for your wants, being dining out, entertainment, hobbies, etc. And I'd even put tobacco and alcohol into this category. We don't need these things to survive. Once the cash is gone, it's gone. Alternatively, you can set up a transactional account, which is separate from your savings and operational account. Having a separate account helps clearly define your expenses. Now let's talk about why saving is absolutely crucial. When you're first starting out, you may want to dial back on buying the things that you want so that you can build up an emergency fund and help cover those necessary monthly expenses. First up, the emergency fund. Your financial safety net when life throws you curveballs. And trust me, these curveballs will come. Aim to save 3 to 6 months of your living expenses in an easy accessible account. During the pandemic, so many people learned the hard way how important an emergency fund is. Those who had them experienced significantly less financial stress than those who didn't. Beyond emergencies, saving for specific goals gives your money purpose. Whether it's a vacation, a deposit for your house, or a retirement plan, having dedicated savings creates motivation and clarity. Here's a practical approach. Set up an operational account for fixed expenses. Things like car insurance, property taxes, utility bills, mortgage or rent payments, subscription services, healthcare costs, and gifts. These aren't surprises. They're predictable expenses that occur at regular intervals. Set aside money every month for these costs, and you'll never be caught off guard again. Something I wish I'd learned early on is how to shop for groceries on a budget while still eating healthily. Here's a quick tip. Plan your meals around sales. Buy seasonal produce and batch cook to save both time and money. There are lots of great budgeting friendly batch cooking recipes on Google and YouTube that meet most dietary requirements. Choosing to eat less animal based products and adding more beans, lentils, legumes, and vegetables will reduce your shopping costs dramatically. Understanding credit and debt. Credit can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Let's make it your friend. In some countries, your credit score is essentially your financial report card. It affects everything from loan interest rates to rental applications and even job opportunities in some fields. The key factors that influence your character score are paying your bills on time, which is typically the most heavily weighted factor, how much of your available credit you're using, length of credit history, type of credit used, new credit applications. I wish someone had explained to me how credit cards actually work when I was younger. Credit cards aren't evil, but they need to be used wisely. Many people use credit cards to gamify and collect points. Again, we need to be careful not to get trapped into the buying of things we don't need just so we can get more points. My rule of thumb is if I can't pay for it with cash, I don't buy it. Let's talk about debt. Debt can feel overwhelming, whether it's a student loan, credit card, or car payment. If you have debt and no emergency fund, focus first on paying the minimum amount on each debt while saving $1,000 for a starter emergency fund. Having a small cushion prevents you from getting deeper into debt when minor emergencies arise. Once you have a basic emergency fund in place, then you can focus on aggressive debt payoff. After becoming debt free, circle back and increase your emergency fund to a full 3 to 6 months of household expenses. A strategy that worked wonders for me is the debt snowball method. Here's how it works. List all of your debts from the smallest to largest, working out which one can be paid off the quickest. Pay the minimum on all your debts except the smallest. Throw any extra money at the smallest debt, and once that's paid off, move on to paying the next smallest debt. The psychology of wins from paying off these smaller debts creates momentum. Understanding the difference between good debt, being mortgages and education, and bad debt, being high interest consumer debt, is crucial. One builds assets and the other drains your wealth. Investing isn't just for Wall Street types, it's how ordinary people build wealth over time. Let me explain the magic of compound interest with a simple example. If you invest $200 monthly from the age of 25 to 65 with an 8% average return, you'll have over $620,000. Wait until 35 to start, and you'll only have $272,000. Those 10 years cost you nearly $350,000. Compound interest, given enough time, is an amazingly effective tool. Albert Einstein once described compound interest as the greatest invention of mankind. The impact of starting early is greater than most people expect. When you're saving for retirement, every dollar saved from birth becomes worth much more than the dollar saved at age 20. And a dollar saved at 20 is more valuable even $2 saved at 30. I wish someone had taught me about investing when I was a teenager. The power of time in the market is truly astonishing. But no matter how old you are, it's never too late to get started. Certainly, many things can go wrong in the lifetime of an investor, and no plan, no matter how brilliant on paper, is guaranteed to succeed. The forces of inflation, deflation, economic collapse, political unrest, global warming, and healthcare can derail any individual's planning. You don't need a lot to start investing. Many apps and brokerages allow you to begin with just a few dollars. There are several user friendly investment apps like Robinhood, Stake, Acorns, Raise, Spaceship, and Vanguard that make investing accessible to beginners. Just make sure that you do your own research before choosing a platform. Look for security features, user reviews, fee structures, and track records. For beginners, investing in a low cost index fund can be a smart approach. Options like Vanguard's S&P 500 ETFs, broader S&P 500 index funds, the ASX 200 in Australia, or PI investments in New Zealand provide instant diversification across hundreds of companies. The key phrase here is low cost. High fees can significantly eat into your capital growth and dividends over time. Look for funds with expense ratios below 0.5%, ideally even lower. This approach is generally less risky than picking individual stocks when you're just starting out, and you'll keep more of your returns instead of losing them to brokerage and administration costs. Remember, time in the market beats timing the market every time. Retirement planning deserves special attention. Depending on where you live, you'll have different options available. In the USA, there's the 401k and IRA systems. Australia has superannuation, and New Zealand has KiwiSaver. The UK have workplace pension and ISAs, and Canada has the RRSPs. Understanding your country's retirement system early can literally mean difference between a comfortable retirement and working into your golden years. As you build your wealth, remember this truth. Creating assets that generate passive income is how you eventually achieve financial freedom. Building up assets with capital growth is great. However, you can't eat a balance sheet. Numbers on a piece of paper will not pay for your groceries, but cash flow will. Wow, we've covered a lot today. Let's recap these key money lessons we wish we'd learned at school. Build a strong financial foundation through strategic spending. Save for emergencies and specific goals. Use credit wisely and have a plan to tackle debt. Start investing early, even if it's small. Remember, financial literacy is a journey. For additional resources, be sure to check out the show notes where I've linked helpful templates like the Financial Fitness Tracker, Debt Snowball spreadsheet, and Financial Terms glossaries. Next, I'd like to hear from you. What money questions keep you up at night? Drop me a message and it might feature in an upcoming episode. If you're new to my channel or returning for some fresh insights, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Until next time, I'm Christine. Thank you for committing to a life of freedom, choice, and abundance through financial literacy. Until next time, bye for now.